Hey, welcome to Myrtle Beach. I'm Robert, and this is Myrtle Beach.
When I was a kid, Myrtle Beach felt magical. Every summer we'd come here, and for a while, I honestly thought this was the greatest place on earth. But coming back years later, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. At first, I thought maybe I'd changed. Then I met a local named Robert. He's been living here since the 80s, and after hearing what he had to say about Myrtle Beach, I started looking at this town completely differently.
Myrtle Beach is where my family went every summer for summer vacation. From the end of June to the first week of July, this is where we could be found. And Myrtle Beach was a place that represented a lot of firsts for me. And this bench right here, this is the first place that I ever drank a beer and subsequently puked everywhere. This swing that we're sitting on, this is where I got laid for the first time. It doesn't get more romantic than that. This unit right here is where we came to the beach every year and spent our summer vacation.
It's the first time I've been back to Myrtle Beach in years, and I was so excited to come here because I immediately was looking forward to feeling that comfort and nostalgia and all of the years of memories that I've built in Myrtle Beach. But it became really clear really quickly that that just wasn't the case. And coming back into Myrtle Beach, there's just this really weird disconnection I'm feeling. A lot of the places I used to go to as a kid are now boarded. The attractions we used to go to are now closed. And even today for lunch, we went back to that old burger place that we used to go to, and I had the weird potato wedges dipped in nacho cheese as I always did when I was a kid, and it just wasn't the same. Everywhere I went, people kept telling me the same thing. Myrtle Beach isn't what it used to be. At first, I figured it was just nostalgia. Every town has people who think the best days are behind it. But then I met Robert.
I've been down here since 1983. Originally, I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But during Hurricane Hugo, I actually left to come down to go to Florida. My parents had a house they were going to give me.
Okay.
And I was stuck in Richmond, Virginia for 2 weeks because, the storm came.
Sure.
So when I came down here, I'm like, you know what, this place is awesome. You know what I mean? Got a job right away, started making money.
Robert moved here more than 40 years ago. And according to him, the Myrtle Beach I grew up in barely exists anymore.
But it's not the bad things that have happened down here. It's that Myrtle Beach doesn't care about the tourists anymore.
Okay.
Or the people. And I can go into this real quick and easy because I got the experience, right? So they shut down all the nightclubs. All these mom and papa hotels, they got rid of them.
Yeah.
Right? And they said, oh, it's a nuisance, right? So they get rid of them. But all they're doing...
His argument wasn't really about crime. It wasn't even about tourism. He believed the city had fundamentally changed who it was building the town for.
Myrtle Beach has always been the working man's resort. If people have money, they're going to places like Augusta, Georgia. They're going to go to places like Miami, Florida. You know what I mean? But what is there really for people to do here? And you take away all the tourism dollars, but then you complain to everybody, oh, well, we're not doing so great. But Myrtle Beach is responsible for 98% of all the welfare for the state of South Carolina from the taxes and you turn in. So at the end of the day, what is Myrtle Beach trying to do?
The more he talked, the more I realized he wasn't describing a beach town. He was describing an identity crisis.
At the end of the day, what is Myrtle Beach doing to make Myrtle Beach great again?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because people can't find, employers come to me all the time. I can't find people who want to work. Well, nobody's going to come down here and spend $1,200 to make $15 an hour. You won't even be able to afford your rent, let alone gas, electricity, or anything else. So,
whether Robert was right or wrong, his explanation connected a lot of dots. Rising costs, changing tourism, empty storefronts, new developments everywhere.
Myrtle Beach will never be the same again. And it's not like it's a bad thing, but you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Robert wasn't the only person who told me some version of this story. Everywhere I went, people talked about change, what Myrtle Beach used to be, about what it is now, and whether those two things can ever coexist. The deeper I dug, the harder it became to tell where nostalgia ended and where reality began. I keep thinking about my interaction with Robert, and part of me is just fighting to understand it. There is part of me that feels like that, he is bitter for a past that maybe didn't really exist. But on the other hand, I can see exactly what he means with a lot of the things that we talked about. It really just feels like Myrtle Beach is this place that is trying really hard, really desperately not to disappear, not to become a memory, and not to become something that just fades into the past. Or, maybe this is just a fever dream and everybody is just waking up. Maybe that's why Myrtle Beach feels so strange. Not because it's disappearing, and not because it's exactly the same, but because it's caught somewhere in between. Part family vacation town, part retirement community, part tourist trap, part time capsule. And somehow all of those things exist at the same time. Maybe that's why places like Myrtle Beach are so hard to judge fairly. Nobody experiences the same town. The Myrtle Beach I remember doesn't really exist anymore. But then again, maybe it never existed in the first place. Maybe it was just the version a 10-year-old kid saw. A week off school, a cheap hotel room, too much ice cream, a pocket full of arcade tickets. The excitement of being somewhere that wasn't home. It's hard to compete with memories like that. And maybe that's what I've been comparing this place to all day. Not the Myrtle Beach that exists, the Myrtle Beach I carried around in my head. Walking around today, it's easy to focus on what's changed. The giant gift shops, the new developments, the empty buildings, the things people like Robert say have been lost. But there are still families on the beach, kids running through arcades, people playing putt-putt, people making memories they'll probably remember for the rest of their lives, the same way I do. Maybe Robert's right. Maybe Myrtle Beach will never be the same again. And maybe that's true for every place and every person. Because the longer I stayed here, the more I realized I wasn't just looking at Myrtle Beach, I was comparing it to a memory. And memories have a funny way of making everything look a little bigger, a little brighter, a little more magical than it really was. So, has Myrtle Beach changed? Probably. But the bigger question is whether I changed too. And honestly, I still don't know the answer.